Good morning, YouTube family. I had a few questions on my last video um, on what I did to get local freight contracts or delivery contracts. Uh, I've had a contract through through local freight carriers. Um, as a matter of fact, one of the contracts I work now is through a local freight carrier. Um, I have simply going door to door. I'm in an industrial uh, complex right now, um, and in this industrial complex, there's several businesses that that are wholesalers, that are suppliers um, to several businesses in my area. So what I do is I go into these businesses. I ask to speak to the manager or the foreman, and I inquire about how they get their product from their warehouse to their end customer. And a lot of them use delivery services. So then I speak with them about a possible contract or using my transportation service to deliver their goods. And I got a lot of them that said, hey, we already have contracts. We have some that said, hey, we have more work. It's our busy season. We can use more help. And then I sign a temporary contract with them. I mean, it's that simple. And it could be for freight, it could be medical supplies, it could be anything. I mean, it could be anything. You just get with these distributors and go door to door. Ask them, hey, this is my business. This is what I do. Can you use my services? And if they're in need of your services, you have a contract. There's a lot of money to be made there. I mean, like I said, mine pays the bills. Um, Expediting is something I want to do, but even with the larger van, I can get some of these distributors that might be doing auto parts or large objects. I can't do that in my small van, but initially, what I want to do, I wanted to do something that would cost me almost nothing going in. I already had this van. I wanted to do something that I can use what I already had to make money. Really, as an experiment to begin with. And it's worked out pretty good. It's worked out pretty good. So, like I said, my next adventure is expediting. If expediting doesn't work, then I can always use my new bigger van to get bigger, better local contracts. Put somebody on a little van, make money that way. But those companies, those carriers, get these contracts by going door to door. They make phone calls. They market. They have their salespeople. They make these phone calls and try to get these contracts. And every contract I've had, the people that I've had the contract with wanted to cut that middleman out and deal directly with me. But because they were on the contract and conflict of interest, that's not something we would do. That's not something that I advocate. That's not something I do. I try to keep my business above board and I try to do business the right way. Now, after that contract is up and I move on to other things and they call me 3 or 6 months later, then yeah, I'm going to entertain the possibility of a contract with them because I know how they work. I know what they want. So that's as simple as it is. It takes business back to its basics. You have to get out there. All right, folks. We had some where I'm parked. The sun was shining on my phone, and it said that my phone was overheating. So it ended the video. But at any rate, you'd be surprised at the like I was saying, you would be surprised at the amount of freight that you can pick up by pounding going door to door locally. Um, you cut the middleman out. And I try not to do things that are about a mile for local stuff because we're not talking, we're talking about 10 to 25 miles. So I try to do a flat rate for the day. And a flat rate for the day can be anything from $125 to $250 a day, flat rate. So if you have a big enough vehicle, you can do several contracts at the same time. I try to separate them by days, but yeah, if you deliver for one of the local outfits, then they're gonna take their money off the top. I have a minimum that I would take per day, so that it makes sense for me. But yeah, there's a lot of money that to be made. There's the Federal Postal Service. There's FedEx. There's a lot of hey, if you have a TWIC card, you can make even more money if you have a TWIC card. Go and pick up at the port, go and pick up at the airport, and delivering freight to the distributor. So there's a lot of avenues that can be had. If you have any more questions, just hit me on in the comments. Oh, and I never asked this because I always forget. Subscribe, please subscribe. I have more video content coming. I'll take you guys on my journey with my expediting adventure, as well as what my local businesses are doing. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to watch my video. Be safe. And hold on, I have a question, but I have to give me a second. I have to put my young man eyes on. All right, I had a question there. Let's see. I saw it pop up. Okay. Going pretty good, Apex. Going pretty good. Um, Another day, as you can see, out here on these freight docks. Out here on these freight docks, man. Uh, Picking up freight, getting it in. Um, hey, I'm going to have a video coming probably in the next day or so of me going to review the van that I'm looking at. And you'll get a good look at the setup. And any suggestions about the setup would be greatly appreciated. But you guys be safe out there, and I'll see you soon.